got a question? No? Okay.
Can you describe your game plan defensively and how you feel you executed it?
Well, I mean, we've changed how we've guarded the last 10 days, and that's pretty much what we've stuck with. I thought we guarded well. We were fortunate. They missed some shots, and then they broke our back with those 2 big threes late on a day where they didn't really make anything. They hit the 2 that won the game. Thought both of them were contested pretty well. They just made good shots. So, we did plenty on defense to win the game. Our issues tend to always fall at the other end of the floor, but we played about as well as we were going to play against a NCAA tournament team. I think they're really, really good. I've watched a ton of tape of them, and I've watched a ton of tape of Wichita in the last 7 days because this is our stretch of both games. And if there's one team in the league that I think Wichita is outstanding, great coaching, great roster of players. I think Indiana State's right there with them. I think that they are right. I mean, they're as close to being as good as them as you can be. And I think that'll be 2 great games. Greg does a great job. They guard and got good spacing on offense. And Odom, the hard part for us is we get beat on a night he didn't dominate. He still controls the whole game and makes every big play he needs to make. He's a great player. I thought that his stat line wasn't as gaudy as it occasionally is, but he still just finds ways to get the ball to the right guys when they need it, and they made a couple shots.
Looking back, Indiana State had 12 turnovers in the first half. You guys only got 4 points out of them, and that.
Oh, it was missed layups, no question. I mean, we lost the game offensively with missed layups, and then gave ourselves no chance to win late with missed free throws. We missed 3 out of 4. That you have to have when you go on the road and play a team this good, you've got to do everything right. You don't have to play perfect, but you can't afford missed layups and missed free throws because you're going to miss some jumpers and they're going to turn you over a couple times. I thought that stretch in the first half when we needed to be up 10 or 12 because they weren't sharp early, and we didn't take advantage of it. All we did was claw and scratch and stay right there with fast break missed layups. And I'd like to draw something up where we could get it closer than 4 inches, but I don't have anything. We got it in there. We just didn't make any. So, we got to do a better job finishing. But I was proud of our kids. I thought we really battled. I think they're great. I think they're a great team. So happy that we did some good things, but, it's still at the same time the result isn't what you're looking for, so you can't get too excited.
You're searching for offense there, and you insert Mason in the lineup in the first half. It knocks down a couple of jumpers.
Yeah, got a couple of mid-range shots. You know what, Mason, what he lacks sometimes in terms of explosiveness as an athlete, he makes up for by really knowing how to play. And he gives us just somebody that can settle us down a little bit. And he's our best post passer. And we know he can make some shots. And I mean, he'd tell you the only thing I told him I told him last night that we were going to play him some, and I told him before he went in, I said, whatever you do, if you're open, just shoot it. I mean, and the reality is we don't have anybody that's made a great percentage, so it's not like if you go in and miss one, anybody's going to lose their mind. So just shoot it with confidence. And the first time he caught it, he should have shot the thing. He was open in the short corner, and he turned it over, and it led to a fast break layup. And he and I had a pretty short conversation. And after that, I thought he was pretty aggressive. And he helped us. I mean, he did. He did a good job. Mason's a great kid, and he embodies what's good and fun about coaching because he deserves to play. We're not playing him because it's not charity. He deserves to play. He's outplayed some of our younger guys in practice through the year, and we've stuck with some younger guys because they're younger and they're you think they're going to learn and get better. And you know what? He plays harder, and I've just kind of got myself to the point where I'm tired of playing guys that could be good that don't play well. So we're just going to reward the guy that deserves it. And if anybody, I should be apologizing to Mason. He should have played 6 minutes a game or so the whole year. And I have apologized to him because we stuck with some guys that just have not been effective. I love our team. I love our young kids. But, at some point you got to go in and be productive. I mean, looking good and having some ability, it's got to carry over the game. And there's an intensity about the Missouri Valley Conference that you can't simulate in practice. So sometimes we have had some guys that have been good in practice, but when they get in the game, they don't play with the same purpose and tenacity that you have to play with. Because when you don't bring that, the other guy outplays you. And so Mason did a great job.
Your tracking defense gave Indiana State trouble. Can you talk about how well your team accomplished that and what you saw in Indiana State that maybe made that choice of defense effective?
Well, I don't know. I was scared to death because the way they shoot it. We got we forced some turnovers, which for us, forcing turnovers is so key because we need the fast breaks. Now, in your point earlier, you're right. We lost the game because we couldn't make layups on runouts in the first half. But as the game wore on, they slipped every ball screen, so we couldn't go double team and make those guys give it up. We just felt like Odom's way too good to let him have the ball and have it on a string and go where he wants with it and hit you if he wants to. Or he's so smart about, like, the amount of times you watch them on tape where, let's say it's, like Idle makes a big one. I guarantee you if Idle is open for 0.1 second on the next trip, he's going to get the ball because Jake registers all that stuff. Who's got it going, who doesn't, because you don't always – not everybody's going to play well. And that's what, to me, sets him apart from every other guard in our league and from a lot in the country. But when you're watching on tape, what I was meaning to say is like Cummings. I've seen clips of Cummings get it going or Kristen Smith all of a sudden gets it going. He just spoon feeds him. And he does it in a way. He'll drive just so you have to help. He doesn't even drive thinking score, but he can. But he just drive in there and probe, and he kind of turns his back and starts backing you down like a 40-year-old at the Y, and he's smart as heck. And he just always finds the right guy. He'll be a good coach if that's what he wants to do because he certainly knows how to play. Good.
To build off this, you obviously have another tough road trip coming up to Wichita.
Well, I think we've built off the last three. We've had two close, one possession losses in a row, and a good win at home with Drake. But I feel like, the last 10 days we've played well. It'll be tough on Tuesday. They'll be excitable and ready to go like they always are out there. And, that's another challenge, another animal that we'll need to regroup and be ready for. But at some point we've got to get some offensive flow, and we just really, really labor down there. And it's hard. We haven't been a great three-point shooting team, and we haven't been a dominant post-finishing team. So, there's not a lot of ways to go. Walt sometimes gets hung out to dry with the ball. But we've got to screen better, and that was the biggest thing I didn't like about our offense today. I thought we just exchanged with guys, and our bigs did a bad job of screening, and that really hurt our offense. They ball screen well, but they don't screen off the ball well, and we don't get curls and those secondary cuts and things. And, we've got to find a way to get that put in our offense. But we're better. We're a lot better now than we were in December. Now, the key is, all that said, it wasn't good enough to win against a great team in their building. And it wasn't good enough to beat a really, really good Missouri State team at home. So you're better, but we got to find ways to beat people because in the end, that's what it all is about. Okay, thanks, guys.